he isn't mad. He's just the same as you or me. He's psychopathic and narcissistic and every other form of twisted humanity that's ever crawled out from under a rock. That's exactly what he's saying. I terrified your mother before I killed her. We had to come back in June. It was right about that time that I got that first letter that's, you know, out of nowhere. Dear sir, first a woman went to the police with serious complaints about a destructive religious cult, and they did not even take a report. Second, we believe that the men who killed Dolores Davis probably killed Vicki Lynn Wegerle in September 1986. Third, he probably wants to go back to his original state, not of original sin as before baptism, but of his original state of being pure, holy, and well thought of. And he can't because of a sexual addiction. God keep you in his living, scratched out, loving care. So of course I went to the sheriff's office and I say, hey, look at this, what is this? And you know, they kind of took the position, well, this is a high profile case. There's a lot of nuts out there following this. It really doesn't mean anything. And I kind of said, well, okay, I suppose it doesn't. I had to suffer through losing her under the most unspeakable conditions. Then I had to just sit back quietly and accept that, well, you're not ever going to get any other answers. And that's when I finally drew the line. And I said, no, this won't cut it. I need answers. And it was a lot of that turmoil and a lot of that anger and frustration and resentment that ultimately moved me to start putting some of this on paper, but at least turn it around to where there could be some positive come out of that. There was an order form in the book, and the order form had a P.O. box. So here's this letter that shows up. Dear Mr. Davis, first of all, thanks so much for writing your book, The Shadow of Evil, Where is God in a Violent World? I'm so grateful that you expressed many of the same emotions that I've experienced when confronted with evil and violence. Even though I've never had a loved one killed by violence, except for the war, we did have a son who sustained 2 brutal assaults after he was targeted by a gang. Also, I suffered emotional and spiritual devastation when I was the victim of a cult. Personally, I believe that the same man did kill Maureen Hedge, Vicki Wegerle, and your mother. There seems to be similarities among all of these cases, and of course, differences too. We'll call the serial killer the Phantom of Northern Sedgwick, again misspelled, County. I'm sure your mother was terrified. Finally, we will pray that you get some answers someday, but even if you don't, you've written a good book and will help many people with it. My heart pounded during the part where you went back on the anniversary of your mother's death to sit and wait for the killer. It's too bad that Unsolved Mysteries didn't accept this story. It would have been an interesting one and would have adapted well to the screen. Bless you, a taxpayer, North Sedgwick County. There's your insights into the mind of what people would call a madman, but that takes the responsibility away. He isn't mad, he's just as sane as you or me. He's psychopathic and narcissistic and every other form of twisted humanity that's ever crawled out from under a rock. And that in your face about your mother must have been terrified. I'll bet you my face just went beet red, because basically that's exactly what he's saying. That's what I did. I terrified your mother before I killed her.